So going on with our series of talks on lifestyle management, yoga, naturopathy, and Ayurveda. First of all, welcome all the viewers who are with us to understand and explore the deeper insights of what we are looking at. So today we have one of the dynamic personalities with us, my very close colleague and friend, once upon a time, and still my friend, who is a yoga therapist. He has been doing a lot of, not just into yoga, but he's also from event management, and he's also doing a lot of stuffs online. He has been to many different yoga institutes to understand the benefits of yoga, to understand how well yoga functions, and to know what exactly yoga is in its entirety. So I think doing any justice to introduce yours to the audience will be very bad. But rather, what will I do is, introducing as you are. That is a wacky person. Just now, I think the barber shops are open. That is the reason why I can't see the wackiness in you. So yeah, so being
Yeah,
as an MSc person into yoga and trying to understand yoga in entirety, event management of yoga, you have given a broader perspective for yoga. You are trying to become something like Baba Ramdev in the modern times now. So,
no, no.
so yeah. So apart from that, welcome to my show of introducing a lot of insights about yoga. So we are starting off with how well yoga and itself is affecting you personally. You have been into event management. So if you could just tell me about what have you seen the past 3 to 4 months during this lockdown period, during this work from home period? How effective and how are you able to see this as an opportunity for you rather than as a, let's say, disablement for you to not step out of your home? Now, personally, not on a business perspective, personally, how are you able to make sure of this time where that you can use this so-called yoga and its development or on you as such?
All right. Thank you, Aditya, for introducing me.
Yes.
It's so wonderful that you guys are doing this session. And if you ask me, in the background, what I have right now, like doing events, workshops, online sessions, and into yoga field, and coming from different institutes. What I have gained in this 3 months lockdown is like not to panic in any kind of a situation. That is one thing which I've learned. That is, I guess it's from yoga, very much, because every time when you do the practice, every time you learn a technique, any kind of a technique from different school, it is actually helping you and your mind to understand much better about yourself. It is not that this technique is good, that technique is good, what I'm learning is better than other school. Everything whoever is teaching, they are teaching to understand yourself better and more better. So in these 3 months, because I lived in different ashrams, I felt the lockdown was similar to stay in ashram only. Because you create the atmosphere around it. Like once you learn that, and you create the same atmosphere around it. And we are so lucky, this generation, we are so lucky because we have internet,
Free
we
time.
have TV, we have free time is there. But I'm telling, like those days when people, if they cannot communicate, if they get isolated, they go crazy completely. But now, even if you're sick, even if you are a COVID patient in hospital somewhere, you're able to communicate with the people. So I guess we should appreciate what we have already got from our ancestors and others, like with their development. Being in this situation, but still people are getting stressed. That's what I feel like. They're not understanding. It's like in economics, we say human wants are unlimited. they're unlimited. You have a phone, you have TV, you have internet, but still you want to go out and do things. It's like you still want something else, more. And that condition is what puts everybody into trouble, everybody into stress. And people are not realizing, because everybody is following the same thing. Like if one person does something different, it looks, people think, okay, there is something different. But if everybody follows the same thing, same pattern, people think, okay, it's normal. So that's what it's happening in this world. Like getting stressed, getting angry, or feeling bad about something is normal. It has become normal. They don't think it's abnormal. They don't understand the natural state what you are. So I feel, personally for me, yoga has took me into a different state of understanding oneself, to understand the mind when it is getting stressed, when it is angry, and not to react. People usually just react immediately, whatever it is that they just react for it. They don't analyze it, like what it is and why it is and what's the reason behind it. They have a, a constant pattern in them set already, like if it is like this is the answer. But the world is always changing. You need to understand. So yoga has helped a lot. I mean, people think that yoga is just a physical practices, but it is more than that actually. If people go more deeper, like from asana to pranayama to dharana dhyana, they learn more. And before that, if they follow really the yama niyamas, it will help them a lot.
Well, that is
That's why.
another topic altogether, because people today recognize yoga as just asana and pranayama. And thanks to few contemporary gurus or a few people who are actually teaching them meditation, apart from that, people definitely don't remember about asanas. I mean, apart from asanas, they have no idea about what exactly is yamas and niyamas.
That's true.
So probably, I don't know how you got up with the field of yoga, but what is that which you say is better for us as a practice? You know, when people come and ask me which is the best part for me to be very good in day-to-day activities, I say dedicate whatever you're doing for a minimum of 20 to 25 minutes in a day so that you can get something. So it is nothing like you have to keep on doing asanas. It has nothing like you have to keep on doing pranayama or meditation. It's a mix of everything. So
That's true.
according to you, what exactly is more important when you say yoga? So what reflects to you?
Okay. Yeah, this was a question for me also long time. Like, what exactly yoga means to me is practice.
Mm-hmm.
As Patanjali also says, that every day, without breaking, you do your daily practices that will yield when the atmosphere is ready for it to yield. So what people think that within a day or something, just do, like, when you get that interest and energy after the motivation, and the people get into that kind of a state. Okay, you saw a movie and you saw in that movie that that person is well built and the action and everything, you get that energy inside you, like, okay, I'll go from tomorrow gym. First day you go, second day slowly it goes down, third day it goes down, and after that,
Yeah, New Year
okay, you're just
resolutions.
doing. Yeah. So here I feel daily practice is what important in yoga. Very much important, daily practice. Because first they need to understand that their mind, not their mind, even I can say my mind, our mind, it keeps on jumping from one place to another. It doesn't stay in one place at all. And to train that, you need to do something daily. It is not like one day you do something and it will just become, set. It doesn't. You have to keep training. You have to keep training until it gets to that state where you feel that it's very clear cut. So you can see in a lot of yogis in their autobiography and their stories, like how long it took for each person. It's their intensity and the practice. So I feel yoga for me, it is a practice, like daily practice. No matter, like what kind of a situation you are into, what kind of a work style, what kind of a life, don't miss your practice. Like you don't miss your food because the hunger is there. Same
At
way,
least
don't
you
miss.
can miss your food, but definitely you cannot miss your sleep. Food, if you can, people will say it's fasting. So, they are very lazy to get up in the morning, especially during a lockdown. And they say, yeah, I'm on a fasting, intermittent fasting by fasting for the first period of the day. So,
Yeah, but
food people can stay
in a day
without
at
it, but
least.
probably not
Yeah, but in
sleep
a day,
or anything else.
in a day at least once people will eat for sure.
Yeah.
That will be there. The same way the hunger should be there for your yoga also. But if you need to get that hunger, you need to understand what yoga is, and that can happen only if you really I feel like um, read the books of other yogis, or if you have suffered and if you're looking to come out of suffering. And more, if you see most of the yogis and most of the people who are core into yoga is because of their suffering. And right now, if people are suffering from something, use that as a tool to come out of it. Because people think, okay, I'm suffering and this is the end, and okay, this is the end for me, I cannot do anything. But that is where you start actually.
Yeah.
That is one point which people have to understand, that there is nothing, you're going to lose. And that all happens slowly once you understand the deeper aspect of yoga, who you are and everything. But I guess if we go more into that, it gets into philosophical
Yeah.
stuff. I feel like let us now talk about general, so that people understand much better about it.
Yeah. So how are you managing in this lockdown as such? People are worried about viruses affecting them, stepping out of the home, too much of a sanitization. Because medically, what we feel is even if you're restricting too much, that is a difficulty. At the same time, if you are not prepared for it, that's also a difficulty. So where do you, as a yoga practitioner, draw a line in terms of body, mind, immunity as such? When you say about body, mind, mental aspect about, okay, fine, I'm safe, it will not affect me much.
See, first thing, if you ask me in a medical aspect and the yogic aspect of it, the science clearly says when you are stressed, when you have a fear, your immunity goes down. It is proven also, like
Yeah.
if you're stressed, if you're angry, your immunity goes down very well. It is already said, then there is no question for you to get stressed or fearful, because you're actually putting yourself down by getting stressed. And that is happening because people don't understand it. And second one, what government is doing, what the news channels are doing, is just to create an awareness such a condition is there, be prepared. So what they're telling is you to be prepared, that's all, not to panic, not to worry about it. This is one thing. The second one, you need to understand, if you need to come out of this panic and fear and everything, is like, see, one day everybody's going to die. Right? One day everybody is going to die for sure. And everybody knows that truth, but yet they think they're immortal. And if it comes tomorrow, today, or next minute, we don't know. It's not in our hand. So, but it's better you live your life fully. Right now, you live your life fully. And of course, I'm not asking you to not to take a precaution or something. You have to take, based on the laws of this physical nature, you have to do all those conditions, what it's required. But the mind, you can condition in your way. It doesn't work on the physical laws. Like virus is that it's going to attack. You don't have to get fear. You don't have to get panic. So that is where yoga plays a major role of it. Like how to calm down your mind using the different technique, like
So,
especially
yeah.
pranayama.
Because when you say about calming the mind, obviously all the aspects of yoga, that is asana, pranayama, meditation, kriyas, and all those things comes. But people today, they don't want to try. You say, okay, do your asanas, do your pranayamas for a certain period of time. You also know this, for burning your fat, you need to do something with your right nostril, breathe into your right nostril, or do anything with your right nostril that increases your so-called sympathetic activity in your body. But they don't want to do it on a regular basis. They just want to do it on one day. So how do you think pushing people for a incentive process, if you don't get anything out of it, then you won't practice. So how do you create that incentive for people to practice it on a day-to-day basis? Because you have
I
been
guess we
taking
need
classes. That is the reason why
we
I
need to
think it
give.
is appropriate for you
I
to
understood. So what we have to do
comment
is,
on.
like, initially what happens in people, the newcomers or the beginners for the yoga, they don't understand it. And there are two things. Like, one, the teacher who's going to teach them should make them understand in the beginning what it is and how it's going to work in the body. The second one, they need to start with some practices which are going to give them the immediate effect. It's because of people are looking for a immediate effect of, like, for example, painkiller is what they want. They don't want the long-term removal, the root cause. They want painkiller right now. That's all.
Yeah,
So in
symptomatological.
such a case, what you have to give them is, like, give them the little bit taste what exactly yoga is. Like, there are so many techniques. Like, for example, if you just do for, like, 1 minute Brahmari, you can see how it works on your mind, how it works on your body. And even if you just do one round of Surya Namaskar, you know how it's actually happening. It all depends on the teacher, each yoga teacher, how they're going to teach and how they're going to deliver it to them. And every person is a different, and we need to understand his psychology also. So before you take the class, you need to generalize. Like, if it's a group class, you need to generalize everything, like what it is and how it's going to work. And I feel most of the people are going just with the dynamic practices. They need to go like dynamic, slow, little bit of breathing included, pranayama, and the meditation. They have to have all these varieties together. I mean, now they call it as varieties, but there is a procedure, like, from you go from tamas to rajas to sattva. So that is a way to take them into that sattvic state. So people who are tamasic, you need to make them dynamic. And once they're into dynamic, you need to make them slow. But what is happening? We are just jumping from tamas and rajas and tamas and rajas. That is from laziness to dynamic. Again, if nothing is there, you go back to laziness. But they're not coming to the balanced state. So I guess we need to bring them to the balanced state. That's what yoga has.
Yeah, so based on the same thing, as I have been taking classes, I believe more on one-to-one kind of interactive sessions. So you have been taking for a group of people, let's say more than two people. I mean, now we all have time. So do you still think that group holds more advantage over individual sessions, or what is your take on group sessions versus individual sessions?
See, everything has advantages and disadvantages. I cannot say that this is right or this is wrong. It has its
Especially
own.
when it comes to the yoga perspective, obviously you cannot make a judgment on this. But I would put it in this way, that which is more effective, one-to-one sessions or group sessions.
I feel both very, very effective.
Okay.
Both equally effective. Why? I'll tell you. For the people to open up one-to-one, it's not easy. But once they come into group, they mingle. Okay, they understand, they feel better. Okay, there is another person is also there with me to do it, and he feels if you do one-to-one, he's just doing by himself. He's not ready in that state, like, to do by himself. He doesn't have that much of willpower. Because in the group there are people doing around you, you get that energy. The energy happens because of that. That's why the group meditation gives more effect than another person doing a single meditation. But a person doing his own meditation will give an effect if he has reached to that level. Like, for example, like Buddha, he doesn't need anybody. But if he comes into the group, the whole group gets into that energy state. Second,
Yeah.
I'll give you the individual session. Yeah, individual session, you have a attention one-to-one very much. And based on his ailments, like, for example, he has some kind of a problem, so we can give more attention to that particular. But if it's group, it becomes generalized. I feel once it's like a stepwise, I can say people who are ready go one-to-one session can go, but people who wants to go to one-to-one session, they feel a little bit not comfortable immediately to open up everything. Let them go to group, understand how yoga works, then go for one-to-one to understand much more better. So I feel both has its own advantages and disadvantages. Where if you go little more higher than what is the supreme thing itself, you don't need even a one-to-one also. Once he learns what it is, he has to just practice by himself.
On the based context of COVID-19, how are you seeing people accepting the traditional medicines and traditional practices? Because today, even though we don't have a vaccine against any of the major diseases, or also we are coming up with super bugs and those theories, do you think yoga will be more effective in treating any kind of a bug? I mean, any kind of so-called problems in the system? Because what I say is, I am more kind of a not so active or dynamic practice, and I'm more like a logical reasoning for the body. So I have a intention like how it has to be practiced. So based on that, even my way of understanding the society around me is also there. So it might be a wrong perception or the right perception, that is different. But today, as coronavirus has taken toll on everybody around us, where have you been seeing people effectively, or collectively coming and participating in it? I mean, obviously, you have been conducting lots of online classes. You have been doing lots of online way of getting interactive sessions with people. I mean, we are also trying to do the same thing on a larger scales also. But what is the effectiveness of online consultations, online treatments, or online yoga practices? At the same time, people accepting our sessions, or people accepting the alternative medicine or yoga. You can elaborate on that.
Yeah, now the awareness has increased all over the world, and everybody knows that most of the disease is because of psychosomatic. So people are coming towards alternative medicine, and even the modern medicine is very much accepting, uh, but not the pharmaceutical companies. But yeah, modern medicine, they are accepting them very, very much. In case of the COVID, um, currently we have conducted a lot of corporate sessions. One of the reason is like the work from home is happening and they're very much stressed that they're not able to go out, and that the online yoga sessions has helped them a lot. And if you ask me for the COVID treatment, I feel that again everybody's talking about immunity, so it comes back to the immunity only over here. So what yoga does, what the yoga practices, asanas, pranayama, meditation, what it does to your body is it gives more deeper relaxation where the repairing work happens by itself. Your system does the repairing work when it is more relaxed. And second one, the hormonal balance happens in your body. Third, the endocrine system completely works properly, it gets balanced. So when these systems, your sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system, your hormones, your endocrine system, if these systems are balanced, your immunity, your mental state, and your health overall gets balanced very well. It's not just a COVID, it can be a simple flu, or it can be any kind of a problem. You will be able to fight against it, for sure. Be able to fight against it. And for the people whose health already the system is very, very weak, if because they're right now coming to yoga, they should have come long back, but right now they are coming to the yoga at the last stage. For them also, for example, like for example the cancer patient, like where they've crossed the stages, everything, and they're there. And because of their understanding about the mind, because of the understanding about yoga, and because they understand about what is stress, what is anger, what is life, by practicing yoga, they're not getting affected. The body might be.
We can say something like palliative care in cancer, right? Emotional
Exactly.
stability and palliative care, yeah.
Yes, so that is happening. So in that way, of course, the alternate medicine is helping a lot. And others also, like for example, people who are going with the naturopathy, Ayurveda, homeopathy, it is very well taken care, and a lot of people have come out. Like if you go and search in news or in Google, like how alternative medicine has cured their COVID situations, there are a lot of uh, and it is not shown to the world right now in so much. I don't know why, because of this vaccine thing. But recently, yesterday only, I heard one of the actor from Tamil Nadu. He just uploaded a video telling that his father got positive and he himself got positive, but they didn't go to hospital to get quarantined or isolated. They treated themselves at the home using homeopathy and Ayurveda and home remedies, and they're well now. It's been like after 7 days, they are like completely fine. So his father is actually like 72 plus, I guess. So the possibilities are there, but I guess the government is also supporting through Ayush, and I feel like India is very much better than other
Yeah, I mean,
countries.
obviously, the death rates when you see globally, on a global average, we have, though we have a lot of active cases, our recovery cases are also much better than that of other countries, and also the death rates are also much better than the other countries. So this shows
So
that
so
immunity is
here,
also there with this
yeah.
country as such. Yeah.
So one more thing I want to put a point for all the people. If people are listening and if people are having kids, let your kids go and play on the earth.
Mm.
They need to get exposed.
Yeah.
If you go to other countries, they keep them very much safe, and if
Yeah.
they're not exposed to the nature, they don't build
Yeah.
their
That's
immunity
what
that much.
sophisticatedly we call it in naturopathy as mud bath and mud therapy, you know.
Yeah, very much.
It's actually going to
I
help them
mean,
anyway. Yeah.
yeah. So when they are kids, you should let them, like, do all kinds of chores at home and play with plants and animals around them and insects. So this one thing is they're mentally getting more stable. The
Yeah.
second thing, the body is also understanding if any kind of situation comes, how they have to react. So everything gets built when they are building. Like if you put them into a big building and give them the gadgets and ask them to go to gym and school and come back, and there's no exposure in the nature, and that's what you can see in the other part of the world what's happening
Yeah.
than in India. So
That's
this is
also
one thing.
one thing probably which we need to take a note of it, because India has not been westernized properly. So we have better case recovery. At the same
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
the Western society has made a lot of things. I mean, they call it as healthcare, but their healthcare was actually overwhelmed when it came to an emergency crisis. So that
Yes.
much difficulty we never had as of now, even after 6 months into progression of this kind of a virus attack on ourselves. Yeah, that gives us an insight that how well we were actually taking care in our cultural heritage, and how we actually made our immunity better functioning than the rest of the world. Yes. So be in the same way, how are you advising to your people on food? Because yoga believes a lot of things from food. Basically, we can say, or we can deduce that the body itself is made up of food, what we eat. So how is the food quality now? Because of the lockdown, people have started to eat endlessly and they're starting to gain weight. So we need to understand food is also a very part of it. So if you could just put in the last thing, like how food is more effective, and then we'll close the session.
All right. Yeah. There's two things I can say. One is the advantages I'm going to talk about, because I want to talk more about positive things.
Yeah,
Because they're at home, most of the people are eating home food. That is really, really good.
that's
That's
good. Yeah.
that's one good thing. Like what they have understood, people are learning how to cook, and people know what exactly the cooking works and how the taste works.
Hmm.
So that is one thing. And yeah, another thing. I mean, people are not used to be in one place. Now it's isolation is happening and lockdown happened. So that is the one reason why people feel like eating all the time when they are stressed. They don't know what to do. When they're bored, the next thing what they want to do is just eat. Nothing else. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
And according to yoga, it's very clearly said that when you are hungry, you eat. You have a natural cycle of your hunger. When you're hungry, you eat. So that has to be followed very much. And your body knows everything. Your body is a big chemical factory. It knows like what kind of a food it requires. Because see, sometimes you feel like you want to taste a little bit of a salty, a little bit of spicy, a little bit of, you want the sugar. your body tells what kind of a chemical it needs, and it knows from which food it is getting. So the more you create awareness in your body, the more you practice yoga and create awareness, you understand what is required in your body.
Yeah.
So accordingly you eat. And of course, according to yoga, sattvic food is the best. That is like a fresh food. Anything fresh, anything cooked, like, and consumed in like 3 to 4 hours. That is
Fine.
always good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we are running out of time. So
Yes. So yeah, thank you for connecting to us, and hope you have a good session coming up in future. Thanks for making
thank
time for
you.
us, and thanks for coming onto the show and putting your views for the public, so that they are and they are into the knowledge of what exactly is good for them and how can the things be followed. So yes, for the other people, they can always follow us. If any kind of a question is there, you can always write to us. We'll be writing you back. So yeah, any last words, Mr. Rag?
Thank you very much. Thank you for, you guys are doing great, like trying to create awareness about what is required in this world.
Yeah.
And yeah, be safe, keep practicing every day, and take care of yourself. That's all I would like to say.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.